Hiya. It's lovely to have you here again. It's funny actually to be making a video right now because my previous video, the one that I most recently posted, blew up. So I know there's a lot of new people around here. Welcome. Hi. It's lovely to have you here. And I just wanted to come on here to give you a little bit of news and maybe propose another little, much smaller creativity exercise for us today. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Marie-Noëlle Worm. I'm an artist, illustrator, also top teacher on Skillshare. I also have a little community on Patreon where we do live sessions every month. And what I love most is sharing my passion for creativity and for learning how to express ourselves without having all the things that get in the way of that. And, there are a lot of them. So what I have to announce is that if you follow me on Instagram, then you'll know already. But I am co-hosting a drawing challenge, a free drawing challenge with prizes for the month of May. It's called the Bring Spring Challenge, and I'll be sharing, the prompts here probably, or here. I'm not quite sure where. But you can check those out. It's actually 10 drawing prompts, all related to spring, because in the northern hemisphere we're, summer is actually inching its way ever closer. And it was just a way to incentivize people to open up your sketchbook, to get creative alongside a bunch of other people who are going to play along as well. And we have some ridiculous prizes this time. This is our 5th year hosting this challenge. And we have, it was created by Anna Sokolova and co-hosted this year with Onmar Wynn, Jen Dixon, and Julia Hens, and myself. And so if you want the rules, you can find that in the Instagram post, or I might also share them down in the description below. But all you need to do is create 10 drawings before the end of May, and we have so many cool prizes. There's like a massive wooden box of like 100, I don't remember how many, but many colored pencils, Lyra colored pencils. There's watercolor boxes. There are Skillshare memberships. There's like a subscription to Brave brushes. There's a bunch of different things. And actually, I also have some additional specific prizes for my patrons. So if you're part of Patreon, then you can also win a handmade sketchbook, a piece of art from my art shop, and a 1-hour coaching call to get into creative coaching and whatever it is that you might be struggling with and that you might want to talk about related to your creativity. What else? So I think that's pretty much it. Why don't we get started on the tiny little creativity exercises? I wanted kind of just to kick you off in case this did sound fun to you to join into this challenge. We're going to just be playing around with colors and textures to maybe prep for some of these drawing prompts. So let's get right to it. All right, so I have a range of different art materials with me. I have some colored pencils. I also have some Neocolor. I do have also some watercolor that isn't too far at hand. And you can really just bring anything that you want. I just want us to really play around with textures and colors today. So in order to prep, I want you to just look at the list of prompts and look at a word that is calling to you more than the others, or one of the prompts. Some of the prompts are multiple words, I guess. So yeah, just have a look over these. I think I am really called to the prompt ephemeral. It's something that, it's a word that I really love. If you don't actually know what that means, it means like something that is kind of impermanent, and that, yeah, I think impermanent is the right description. Something that fades quickly, but it can still have a lot of beauty in it. So I want you to just grab that word that you like, and then I want you to pick an art material, a specific color that you might want to play with in relation to this word. So I instinctively went for this green, but I think I'm actually going to go more for this green, which is more actually yellow. It's called olive yellow. But that's the one that I want to explore at the moment. And we're not here to make anything figurative yet. We're really just doing like texture and color explorations. So you can just play around with making different marks. You can make like a bigger surface or a smaller surface. And I want you to just pay attention to what other colors might be calling to you without questioning whether it's going to fit or not fit, but just really playing around and seeing, okay, what's the difference if I put it alongside that color or I layer it over the top of it? You know, what if I also change the color proportion? And I just want you to notice these shifts. Allow yourself, of course, to hear and feel the marks on the page as well. That's a way of kind of dropping into your drawing, dropping into the practice and warming up. You can at any moment add other colors. Oh, this happens to be a soft pastel that I had hidden in there. Thought it was a colored pencil. It's more like a gray color. It doesn't seem to layer well on top of the colored pencil, but along the side it does. And at any point you can also switch to a different, so you can see I'm like making little individual kind of color and texture explorations. What if you just kind of switched that up and changed it to something different? So I was going for something quite cool over here, but right now I'm feeling the call for something a little bit warmer and having many colors. I quite like the mix of this silver gray alongside these warmer colors. That's kind of fun. But if I think of something ephemeral, I also maybe might think of colors that are slightly more faded, more muted, you know? So I might just come and explore a color palette that's a little bit more subtle. And then, I don't know, this olive yellow just keeps calling to me. So what if I bring that one in? I'm just going to do a few more here. This is really just a short little exercise to allow yourself to understand in a kind of hands-on way that you can use your sketchbook as a place to think on paper, if that makes sense. You don't need to plan everything in advance. You can use scribbling as a tool to bring you forward, to move you forward into your explorations. So just allowing yourself to play with that. And I'm going to admit, I've been doing more of like a color exploration here. I started out with a little bit of texture, but you could actually focus more on texture if that's something that you're more interested in. So here's an example. I might decide, okay, well, I like this color, but I want to see what it looks like if I'm doing different types of marks and what kind of mood that conveys. So I can just see, what if I build up a different type of texture than the ones that I've been creating up till now. And maybe that can also spark an idea of something ephemeral, you know? These prompts, they're really just food for thought. So you could go towards something that's, you know, abstract, even if some of the prompts are more figurative. It could also be fun to see, well, okay, what if I interpret things in a more open way? I really like this blue, so I want to explore one more. And you see, even this is a texture. Like, do you see how there's a difference in the texture between something that's more like scribbly in a straight line and something that's more scribbly as circles? That creates a texture in itself. And that can be fun. You know, and that's a very different texture to if I'm doing something that's just using the side of the pencil, something a little bit more homogeneous. I realize I've only been using my colored pencils at the moment, but that's fine. That's just what's calling to me. Then you can, you know, just play around with overlaying textures. And I really like this gray. This is like a sepia. I was thinking that could be a fun mix between these two. You know, and what if I played around with a little bit more neutral? This is a French gray. And so you can see kind of the slight hue shifts between these different neutral grays. And then this is the silver gray again. So do you see how I'm just really using these as kind of little opportunities to experiment and to explore? And there's no, I don't have any expectation. It's not, the point is not for it to look good. I'm really just kind of allowing the marks and the colors to lead me and to see what's happening. And once I've done enough of these, and we're going to stop there just because I wanted us to have smaller exercise today, a shorter exercise, but you could, you know, replay the video or just, you know, even separately from the video, just set a timer and do this for maybe an hour to really explore a range of different color palettes. And I want you to give yourself kind of the freedom that you may have, and I want you to really give yourself the freedom to make something scribbly, doodly, to just really experiment with these textures, these yummy colors, and notice which ones are pulling you and which ones you're kind of like, that's not really the vibe that I'm going for. So if I use this as an example, I have several that I prefer over others. So this one is the color palette that I think really is pulling me the most. I do actually quite like this first one as well. And there's something in the last one, in the sort of mutedness, that I really appreciate too. So I could then use this as my starting point for creating a drawing from that prompt, ephemeral. And of course, these are just food for thought. So even if you're doing a drawing and you realize, oh, actually, I want to bring in another color or whatever, like that's fine. It's really just to create these little small stepping stones so that you can allow yourself to experiment. And I want you to actually, even when you move forward with some of these prompts to keep that freedom, to keep that openness of, okay, maybe I'll create, 4 sketchy drawings for ephemeral and or Starry Night or Owl, and maybe one of those 4 I'll like more than the other, but I won't stay beholden to just one and it has to be this one and this one has to be perfect, but I can allow myself to really expand that. That's kind of what I'm hoping for today. Thanks for joining in, and yeah, let me know how it went in the comments. So I hope that you enjoyed our little exercise today and that it gave you a little bit of added courage to jump into the Bring Spring Challenge. I'll, of course, list the information underneath in the description. You can find more info also on Instagram or also on my Patreon. And yeah, I'm wishing you luck. I do want to remind you that if you do participate in the challenge, make sure that your goal, obviously the prizes are super fun, but make sure that your goal is really also about your own personal growth and your own personal creative journey, because I find that that's how we get the most out of these kinds of things. In any case, I do hope you join. There still is time. May is not over yet. It's only 10 drawings. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you're thinking of joining. Obviously, like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you very soon. Bye.